Welcome everyone. Today we will study the chapter 4 of book Statistics for Economics. Dear students, the name of the chapter is Presentation of Data. Dear students, you have seen how we can collect data through different techniques. Okay, there were different ways of collecting data. But after the collection of data, it was important to organize the data. It was important to organize the raw data. So for that, we have seen how we can organize the data or how we can classify the data through different ways. What was qualitative data and what was quantitative data. All these things you have seen and understood. Now, after equipping yourself with all the necessary things, now we have reached at a stage where we have to present the data. We need to present data in a manner which is easily comprehensible. We can understand the data easily. So there are different techniques of presenting the data. Okay, in this chapter we will see how we can present data using tables, how we can show data using appropriate diagrams. Dear students, after the data are collected and organized, we have voluminous data. There is large data. We have to present it in a understandable form. Okay, we have to present this data precisely. और इस वे में प्रेजेंट करना होता है डाटा कि वो easily comprehended हो. There are generally three forms of presentation of data. Okay, first is textual or descriptive presentation. Second is tabular and the third is diagrammatic. First of all, let us see what is textual presentation of data. Dear students, when we have collected the data, we see sometimes we find that the data is not quite large. Data बहुत अगर कम है तो in that case it is not necessary to present that data in table. Instead you can write this data in textual way also. Okay, in textual presentation, data are described within the text. Okay, here is an example. There you can see the data is written in textual manner. In a Bandh call given on 8 September 2005 protesting the hike in prices of petrol and diesel, 5 petrol pumps were found open and 17 were closed, whereas 2 schools were closed and remaining 9 schools were found open in a town of Bihar. So this is textual presentation of data. When we have less data, for example, here is date, here is 2005 data that 5 petrol pumps were found open, 17 were closed, 2 schools were closed and 9 schools were found open. This is less data. Okay, we cannot present this data. We should not present this data in a table because items are quite less. In that case, we will present the data in textual form. You can see many example of textual presentation of data here. Okay, now we will see tabular presentation of data. In tabular presentation, data is presented in rows. Rows होती हैं horizontally. Okay, this is row, it is horizontally read, and columns. Okay, for example, see table. Table 4.1 shows information about literacy. There are 3 rows, male, female, and 3 columns, urban, rural, and total. You can see here. Okay, there are 3 rows. First row, second row, and third row is about total. Okay, there is how many columns? 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are 4 columns. So in tabular presentation of data, we show the data in table. Whatever data we have collected, we organize them and present it through table. When we have 3 rows and 3 columns, it is called 3 by 3 table, 3 cross 3 table. Okay, and the total table giving 9 items of information in 9 boxes. These boxes are called cells of the table. Okay, so there are different attributes, quantitative data and qualitative data. You will also study about this qualitative and quantitative data again. Here, the classification used in this table is of 4 kinds. You have already read about the classification of data in your previous chapter. Here, qualitative data is also there, quantitative is there, temporal is there, and spatial is there. Okay. Now, what is qualitative classification? When classification is done according to attributes, according to some qualities, for example, social status, physical status, nationality, etc. It is called qualitative information. Okay, for example, somebody is, we ask a person whether he is male or female. Okay, this is qualitative data. This is not quantitative data. Okay, next is quantitative classification. You have also seen what is quantitative classification, where we can show the data, age, height, production in million tons, income in rupees. All these are quantitative variables. Okay, here you can show the figures. All these are quantitative variables. You can also do activity according to the example given in NCERT. Next is temporal classification. What is temporal classification? In this case, time. Temporal classification means we show the data according to different time periods. For example, it may be years, it may be months, okay, it may be days. In fact, we show the data in hours, days, weeks, months, etc. Okay, you can write in example this table. You can write any table. In fact, here this table shows sale in lakhs in different years. Okay, starting from 1995 to 2000. This is temporal classification, in which we classify data according to time. Okay, next is spatial classification. What is spatial classification? In this classification, we are presenting the data by taking the name of different places geographically. The place may be a village, town, block, district, state, country, anything. Okay, for example, in spatial classification we have taken the production of this production sorry, export share of different countries, export from India to the rest of the world in the year 2013-14. For example, we have seen that USA share of total export was 12.5%, Germany 2.4%. In this way, the total 100% is divided among different countries. Here we can see that maximum export from India to the rest of the world is to USA. Okay, USA import many things from India. Now, tabulation of data and parts of a table. What are the different parts of a table? It is very important question, students. You can understand it quite well from this NCERT book. To construct a table, it is important to learn first what are the parts of a good statistical table. Okay, first of all, you need to learn what are the different parts of a statistical table. Okay, let us see these parts of the table. First is table number. Whenever you see a table, here you can see in this table there is table number 4.4. Why this 4.4? Because it is your chapter 4 and 0.4 means it is fourth table of this chapter. Okay, this is the reason why here 4.4 is written. The table number is assigned to a table for identification purpose. Okay, you can easily identify that this table is of chapter 4 and this is fourth table of chapter 4. So this table number distinguishes one table from the another table. Generally, table numbers are whole numbers in ascending order. If there are many tables in a book, subscripted numbers like 1.2, 3.1, etc. are used for identifying the table. Because here we can see that in your NCERT book, there are number of tables and number of chapters. Okay, so if otherwise there would be a whole number, a table in whole number, but here you can see because in your NCERT book there are number of tables, therefore it is written 1.2, 2.2, 3.3 in this way. Okay, this is simply for identifying the table. Next is title of the table. It is very important. Title of the table shows about the data you have shown. Okay, it has to be clear, brief and carefully worded. Word ऐसे होने चाहिए जो क्लियरली बताएं कि टेबल किसके बारे में बता रहा है. ओके, so that the interpretation made from the table are clear and free from ambiguity. Okay, after that there are captions or column headings. Whatever heading we give to columns are called captions. Okay, this is captions. For example, destination, export share, these are captions. Next is stubs or row headings. Like column heading, we also give heading to rows. For example, this USA, Germany, UK, Russia, Japan, Russia. All these are stubs. We can also say that these are row headings. Next is body of the table. Body of the table is the main part of the table. It contains the actual data. Here you can see this is the body of the table. Here the data is shown. Okay, this is the body of the table. Here all the data which you want to show, it may be anything. All the data you have shown is in the table constitutes the main body of the table. Here different rows and columns, their data is filled here. Units of measurement. It is also important to present in what units you have taken the data. Okay, so for example here unit is crore. This population is shown in crore. So this is unit. For example, if we have shown the production of wheat in million tons, then there you will write production in million tons. So unit is also important so that the table can be understood easily. Okay, this is unit of measurement. Next is source. It is very important, students. We have to write source, from where we have collected this data, from where we have taken this data. For example, source here is Census of India 2001. That this data is taken from Census of India 2001. So this is you can easily note that this data is of Census 2001. In fact, if you have collected this data from the field, आपने खुद data collect किया है fields, then what you will write? Census, then you will write field survey and you will write the year. For example, in this year you have collected this data, you will write field survey 2020 in source. Okay, it may be primary data or secondary data, as you have seen in your first chapter. Data may be primary or secondary. Okay, if this is secondary data, Census of India is secondary data for you because it is already collected data. If you will collect it by yourself, then it will be primary data and you will write in source that this data is collected by yourself. Okay, field survey 2020, then you will write in this manner. Okay, next is note. It is also important to write the note at the bottom of the table. What this table shows, in fact there are things which may be ambiguous and cannot be easily comprehensible by the person who is interested in your study. For example, यहाँ पे क्लियर नहीं हो रहा देख कर टेबल को कि टेबल ये फिगर्स क्या बता रही है, तो आप नोट में भी लिख सकते हो कि फिगर्स आर राउंडेड टू द नियरेस्ट करोड़. ओके, पॉइंट्स में आपने फिगर नहीं दी है ना, तो अगर इनफैक्ट रियल डाटा पॉइंट्स में भी होगा तो आप क्लियर कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे नोट में देके, ताकि नोट देख के जो पढ़ने वाला है आपकी स्टडी को वो उसको समझ आ जाए टेबल को. ओके, इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू गिव द नोट एट द बॉटम ऑफ द टेबल. So these were the different parts of the table. It is very important. 4 marks question is often asked from explain the different parts of the table. So this is important for you. Next is diagrammatic presentation of data. We will continue this in the next video. Thank you for watching.